All right, guys, if somebody could just tell me if you can hear me. I'm going to put the chat box to the side, but we are going to get this webinar going. Yeah, if you could just chat and let's say, I hear you. Awesome. Thanks, Becca. All right, first off, if you guys can tell me where you are from. If you are new to a webinar with me, that would be rad as well. Totally fun to know that. Just pop that in the chat box. First off, thanks for everyone being here. I know it is our precious night. Nice to have you, Anita. Aw. Okay, I will just keep this brief. My name is Rachel Feldman. If you don't know the whole long story, you can go to rachelafeldman.com. Not first time here. Aw, thank you, Becca. And you can hear about the crash and burn of the hubby's business. Just to keep it short is that actually happened about 3 months before I graduated. Oh my God, look at all this. Canada, Austin, California, Phoenixville. Hey, Julie. That happened actually, let me see, it was like 4 months before I graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, which many of you have attended, or we've gone to another school, so kind of put yourself just in that mentality. And he turned to me and said, do you want the good news or the bad news? I said, I would like the good news. He said, good news is we made a really good investment and we paid off our house. I said, okay, so hit me with the bad news. He said, bad news is we've lost everything. So the business that he had owned, we invested all of our savings in. And when the stock market crashed, his business pretty much crashed with that. So I had a decision to either go back to commercial real estate. It was the first time ever that I wasn't working. And I knew that I could go back to that business and make a really nice earning, or I could pursue being a health coach. And I had no idea what that was going to be like. So I share that with you because, you know, it's so important for you to know like where I started from. I didn't come from a business where, you know, the crossover was people who were interested in health. I didn't come from, you know, building this business where my hubby was like, oh, here's $6,000 and go, you know, build a website, or, you know, here's extra money coming in. I share that story with you briefly because I know what it's like to cry over MailChimp. I know what it's like to, you know, feel scared or not know where to build, you know, not know how to build your business, or, you know, feel uncomfortable like walking into somebody's place of business and say, hey, this is what I do. Would you like to partner with me? So one of the reasons I wanted to do this webinar specifically about building your business online and offline, and specifically about launching a weight loss program online or offline, is because I've done it. I've done challenges offline and offline. I've done programs online and offline. So we are going to jam on it and talk about it. I'm also going to do some questions at the end. I will not rant the whole night, I promise, just because I want you guys to be able to get to your family. We also have some guests in, and although it's quiet because no one's home right now, but we will make sure that we will get to all your questions. So just bear with me as I share my screen. Okay. Okay, so this is about a weight loss program, but I want you to just remember this is applicable to anything. So, you know, right now I call this Q1. I mean, there are different times of the year that I think are like the sweetest spots for coaches to launch, whether it's online or offline. You are in it right now. January, February. March is a little quieter because you have spring break, taxes, two things. Then you go into Easter, and people come back from Easter and they're like, oh, they have stuffed themselves. Also, that happens on spring break. So you always want to think about the psychology. It's not just about a pretty website. I launched so much of my business on a crappy website. I say that to you because honestly it was. I wish it still existed so I could show you. But then you go into Easter. You have right after Easter, which is a great time to launch. Again, I say this online or offline. And what you are launching online or offline is the same program. I want to say that again. So even before we go into this, you are not like working double time. You are launching the same program. And this is really important for you to understand. Then you have pre-Memorial Day weekend. People want to get their body back. People think summer is quiet. That is not true. People love to do programs in the summer. They just like smaller and shorter programs, those non-committal fun programs, because that whole summertime, people are in bathing suits. Anytime people are in bathing suits, they want to doesn't have to be weight loss, doesn't have to be your niche. They just want to, either reboot or recharge, or they want to do self-care, or it's slowing down in the summer, so they have time to think about themselves. August is a little quiet. So you always want to think around kind of school time. Even if people don't have kids, the psychology of kids in school dictates a lot of human nature and human psychology. Then kids go back to school. And all of a sudden people wake up after kids go back to school around mid-September. Then people think about cleansing their body, jump starting, and then you have Halloween. And then what happens? People want to get off sugar. And then you have Thanksgiving. And people are like, oh my God, I'm stuffed. So they want to reboot before they go into the, Hanukkah, Christmas, everything. So I just want you to think, as I took you through that, all the different opportunities. As you're thinking about your 90-day plans, as you're thinking about your 120, as you're thinking about even your full year, what do you actually want for your business? Are you a serial launcher like myself? Do you love launching? Or do you more want to do like a group program offline? So when I actually did my programs offline, I partnered with two different gyms. One that was a gym where we did this as 90-day boot camps and challenges. And then one was a mom's group where we did a weight loss group, and we did it as a 3-month. We kicked off. We did another face-to-face, and then we ended the program, and then we kicked it off again. So I want you to think about that offline. And online, you can then, of course, you're launching, you're building up, you're creating that buzz, and then you have a certain start date and a certain end date, unless you're doing a do-it-yourself. And do-it-yourself, somebody could be buying at any time of that season or the year. Some people have do-it-yourself programs. It could be a signature program, or maybe you have a cleanse. For example, Holly Thompson, great interview, amazing person, and an IN graduate. She has a cleanse all year round on her site. Maybe you have that and it's a do-it-yourself, but you still have a set start date and you're still marketing. I want to say this loud and clear, because even people like Mark Hyman or Alejandra Younger or Anne Louise Gittleman, or people that you hear that are main people, they don't just not market. They have significant marketing campaigns and email funnels, because you need to nurture, nourish, build authority. So for those of you in launch school, I talk about this a lot. I actually have you for 2 weeks just doing that. So for some of you who are newer coaches or even existing coaches that maybe didn't build that authority or haven't done videos or live streams, or people don't know you because maybe you were either scared or you didn't spend time in that area, offline or online, it's time to start doing that, especially if you want to do more of what you love, which is really coaching. And of course, make money doing it. So who am I? I just told you the story. I'm a business coach for health coaches. I work specifically with health coaches and wellness professionals who want to build online and offline businesses. And I really niche it specifically for people who want to understand top to bottom how to foundationally build their business. Because a business doesn't just get built by having a website. It gets built from having opt-in freebies that leads them through a funnel to either your one-on-one sessions or to your programs, online or offline, to your one-on-one, and again, it's building that whole funnel. I'm a business coach, I'm a proud mom and wife, 6-figure business owner, and I did that, and I just need to say that, I did that when I was a health coach, once I figured out a system, because I realized people were not going to hire me, and my conversion from a strategy session to a health history, and health history means that they were actually hiring me. It was not going to happen by just me saying, "Oh, you're going to get handouts." It was that they were going to hire me for a system, and this was going to be done online or offline. So our agenda: how to lead your audience down the path to buy online or offline, a proven formula, how to get them to open your email, how to infuse your personality and subject lines. Now, given, could this be a 3-day event? Yes. So I am going to jam pack and just do a little snippets of each of these. I mean, again, each one of these could be master classes or even a 3-day event, probably even a 7-day event. So again, I'm going to keep us, I'm going to note the time and make sure that we don't, go massively over, because I'm known for ranting. Okay, buying online and offline. This is really important, guys. No matter what, whether it's online or offline, you have a desirable opt-in freebie, a challenge, or a webinar. I mean, I really believe that. I think unless you are a great walking business card, and many of you are, and I have encouraged everyone to go offline. And if you see somebody in the middle of Whole Foods or Fresh Market or Vitamin Shop and they look confused, do what I did. Go over and say, "Hey, yeah, I used to stand here feeling confused, but I'm a health coach and this is what I do. Can I help you?" If you are uncomfortable to do that, get comfortable. But if you do want to be working online or offline, you still need an online presence, even if you never want to work online. And I say this clearly because I built my business offline first, but I still had an opt-in freebie because I had to build that list, because that list had what? When somebody signed up for my steps to better digestion, what were they getting? They were getting email follow-ups. They were getting a newsletter. Back then it was once a month that I did. Then I moved to every 2 weeks. But then they were understanding my clear story. I had digestive issues. I had allergies. I was told that I would never have children. I had hormonal issues. I had lung. I had an autoimmune. They knew what my story was, and so did I. And I crafted this story. It took me 50 different times to write this story over and over. Know your message. So this is the pivotal piece. You can buy programs. You can attend schools. You can do courses, all of this. If you don't, let me just say this. If you don't know your message, just flush the toilet down and throw the money, or you can just send it to my address. You have to know your message, and this message has to feed into the pain points of the very people who are going to buy from you online or offline. So for example, if this person has weight issues and you're selling a weight loss program, you need to have the physical pain points and the emotional pain points, because weight issues aren't just physical. So for example, let's just say Susie, who is 40, is working, you know, nonstop. She comes home, she eats, you know, perfectly all day. She's kind of that E-type personality, perfectly all day. She eats like this healthy power bar, you know, and has coffee with almond milk, and she gets it from Starbucks, and everything's perfectly and neat. But she gets home and she walks in the door and everyone needs her. And she's, you know, everything's together. Sound familiar? But then comes about 8:30. Kids are asleep. And Susie goes to the pantry, and she's starving. She's not really starving, to be honest. She did have some dinner. She's starving emotionally. She hasn't crafted out time for herself. She gets all this food and she just goes, and her husband even says to her, "Where are you going?" She says, "Oh, it's just, you know, just feeling tired. I just want to go watch TV." And Susie's hiding in the other room, shoving her mouth. Susie's biggest pain point is that she feels alone. She doesn't know how to craft this balance for this brilliant, smart, gorgeous woman that is making a great amount of money, but just has not figured out how to express that she needs support. Then you have Sally. Sally has been overweight since she has been about 5 years old. She was actually teased as a child. She feels inadequate. She doesn't feel enough. Her sister was really thin, never had a weight problem. Her mom took her to all these different places, coaches and nutritionists and doctors, and she just feels hopeless. She had a Weight Watcher, she did everything. So you have two different people. Now, the physical pain points is that you can't get into the clothes that you want to wear. You want to buy these tight jeans. They don't fit. You want to wear this dress. You know, metabolically, you're having issues. How, you know, gaining weight isn't, you know, being at a certain weight maybe isn't healthy for you. Maybe your sugars are off and your doctor said, you know, you need to lose weight. There are physical issues. Maybe this person's cholesterol is actually high. So maybe they're really physically seen. You know, the emotional is that this person feels alone. They feel like they are not enough. Their self-esteem. So in this selling, so properly launching is about really speaking to the person who is buying, whether you're online or offline. So many of you, the missing component that's happening when you're doing a workshop offline is that you're not having somebody engage in what is the pain. You're not having them flow into here's the problem with all this weight loss, mojo, you know, fix this, quick fad, you know, And so here you're stuck. And what used to work isn't working anymore. And so you feel helpless. And so what I'm going to do in this 14-day or 21-day or 6-week or 8-week program is I'm going to teach you a totally different system that is going to actually debunk what diets actually teach you. No more points, no more counting fat, no more this. This is a totally different system that is going to revolutionize the way that you view food and the way you look at yourself, because it's not just about the food on your plate. I'm going to teach you about mindset. I'm going to teach you about food. I'm going to teach you even about how to handle stress, so that when you come home and you're upset and you're this, you're not just going to run to the closet. You're going to have the ability to walk in. And so if I were teaching, I would actually say, how many people run to the closet when you feel like you can't express yourself? And I would hand out a piece of paper. And if I was doing a webinar, and I would hand out a piece of paper and say, I want you to write down what you ate today. And then if I was doing a webinar, I would say, I want everyone to take 3 minutes and be honest with themselves and say, how many times today have you not expressed your emotions? How many times have you shoved down your emotion and you ate it? Because weight is not just the scale and the pounds. It's the weight that you're carrying. So you have to get clear on the message to sell any program. And this isn't just a program. This could be a product. This could be anything. And that message is going to come from your story. So whether it's power or ownership or maybe it's just really the weight. You know, maybe that's somebody's story that you lost 80 pounds and you did X, Y, Z, but then that's your system. So again, know how your message, and I say it right here, know how your message relates to your story. And know your niche. What is your niche need? Is it Sally? Is it Susie? Or is it Jack? And Jack has been living on TV dinners for the longest time because it just was easy. He's been driving through, you know, and where he thought Chipotle was just really healthy. You can't figure out why he's gaining weight because they're slapping on 2 full big things of, you know, sour cream. But it's healthy because that's what he's fed. So selling a program online or offline isn't about just saying, you're going to get your bikini pounds down, and it's no one wants to just be sold to. And for some of you, even though things are template, especially if you buy the Done For You programs from me, maybe a sales page is a little salesy, you might have to pull that back and infuse your story. And if a copywriter that you hired is really good, they're going to do that. And they're going to take, and this is the part where you have to you know, we almost feel like we're like in front of a car salesperson. We have to like take that away and really infuse our story and know why they're buying from you. So it's like how not to sound sleazy. It's like, you know, when I health coach or even when I sell to you guys, like, you know, I express to you what happened to me. What was the pain? What was the pain of hiring, you know, either copywriters or designers or virtual assistants, you know, and being disappointed? So why did I create a system? What was the pain of buying my first Done For You program and finding out that was a copyright? That was the moment I said I was going to sell Done For You programs without a copyright. And as a health coach, I said, why did I become a health coach? So I would never, ever be in the situation where I was going to tell somebody only do this one thing. Because that one thing never worked. We're not just robots. Share your story. Lead people into that funnel through that experience. And this is applicable on social media. If it's online, you have to strategically lead people through that story. Whether it's Instagram, Periscope, Pinterest, you know, a newsletter, your email marketing, there has to be a story. You have to be sharing with intention. There has to be a reason, and you have to infuse at every second your story. This has to be so clear. I have to go to your page and know exactly who you are and why you're doing this. And don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because this is the time that we're in. This is not 2010 where you can get away with having a program because nobody had one or nobody had an opt-in freebie. We're in 2016, and it's only going to get more fierce. And in the sea of health coaches or wellness professionals or life coaches or whoever, fill in the blank, you have to set yourself apart. And I believe you can, but you have to take this system. And the system is this. You need to know with conviction why you are different and what separates you. So as somebody comes through your funnel, don't be scared to just say, you need this program because there was a time that I felt X, Y, Z. And I was told A, B, and C. And I felt destroyed, or I felt abandoned, or I felt hurt. So when you're selling online or offline, you are in that workshop and the conversion happens because they're either going through an email funnel like this, or you're in a workshop offline and you're educating in that workshop. And either they're signing up and then you're sending them a funnel. Here, this, I'm educating you, I'm nourishing you. Then they get an email. Okay, what was your story? Then you're leading them either to a live stream or a webinar or a challenge. Or maybe you're leading them right to the product, but not right away. Because who's going to just buy right away? Still, even Mark Hyman doesn't do that. He nourishes, he educates. Many of you got something right away. Hey, about metabolism. Then it goes into the nourishment. Then it goes into the sale. I hear my children. Oh. +1, hold on. This is email funnels that work. So this is Ryan Deiss style. I've talked about him before. We've talked about the tripwire. I've talked about why I believe I teach a different system. It's not that I don't want you to value yourself and charge, but people have to get to know you. People are not just giving emails away anymore and saying, yep, take my email. People need to get to know you. So this is the value. And again, this is Ryan Deiss. I just want to be very clear that this is his system. Determine your product. Then you choose the traffic source. So again, whether you're online or offline, offer a lead magnet. Then it's whatever it is. Are you going into the tripwire? Are you going into the core product? So if this is your weight loss program, okay, boom. You're leading them into the weight loss program. You have your follow-up series. Hey, you know, this worked for my mom, subject line. Curiosity kills the cat, my favorite subject lines. Second one, my mom told me this. What'd she tell you? Who wouldn't open that? I would open that. My husband did this and he lost 5 pounds. He did? Doing what? I drank this and all of a sudden I lost 5. Whatever it is, I could list 25. Right? Or my babysitter lost 10 pounds. Want to know how? Yeah. So then whether you are, and this is what I want you to see. Again, what are we saying? Same program. So you're editing your weight loss program, sales page, online or offline. Still, offline, you're pitching to the gym or the spa or the chiropractor, but you're doing what? Probably have a workshop first, or it's a challenge. So it's offline workshop, online webinar. Or it's going straight into, hey, this is what I have to offer. This is my program. But usually we have to warm up. And if we don't have enough warm, what happens? We don't get the signups. So the biggest thing is that the signups and the warm happen because the pain points. And we're speaking to what? Different psychology, different avatars, different psychological, emotional, and physical points. And the results, what are they going to get? Hey, Susie, I'm going to teach you how to be able to go home and not have to go into that pantry at 8:30 at night, because I'm going to teach you what foods are going to kill those cravings. I'm also going to teach you how to not stress. So when you come home, you're going to be full, emotionally full. You're going to take each of those points and you're going to message a result. So when you're doing an offline workshop, in the solution, hey, I'm going to teach you how to cleanse so you can lose weight, because there are very foods that could be causing you inflammation in the body. I'm not telling you that you have inflammation, but I'm saying there are foods that can sometimes trigger histamine reactions and cause weight, because not every food is the right food for each person. Open my emails. Can't just depend on our email marketing. We have to depend on different sources. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Love that line. But how do we get those people to open up our emails? We lead with proven subject lines. And also, we teach our audience to open up our emails. Give those gifts. Many of you, I mean, especially if you're in the launch goal, I have that, my favorite handout, what is in my vault. Many of you have downloaded opt-in freebies, handouts, or you have handouts that you're not even using. Teach people that you're going to be giving gifts. People only open your emails if they think they're of value. People only, go to your website if you think your blogs rock. People only watch your videos if they know that you're giving value. Make it so that people know you are valuable to them. Just like many of you, have joined my free support group because I'm in there and I answer you. So train your audience, even if you have 15 or you have 15,000. Create emails where people know they will be educated. Probiotics, and if it's weight loss, maybe it's a weight loss drink, maybe it's a smoothie that boosts metabolism, maybe it's a salad that fires up with different spices. Think about boom, 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 boom. 10 things that help weight loss. Again, what are we doing? All in the funnel. And again, curiosity kills the cat. Subject lines. Love that. Infuse your personality into your emails. This was an email that I found just, searching in my email system. I said, I'm 40 and I finally came to a place in my body where I feel healthy even with an autoimmune, but it wasn't always that way. I struggled for years. I never felt right. I used to go out and eat sick after each meal. I used to never have enough energy to get through the day. I used to struggle with ulcerative colitis and bleed when I used to be in the bathroom. TMI, but it was the truth, and it was. I used to have dull skin, dry hair, and hives all over. I used to have migraines. I used to have hormonal imbalances. I mean, this went in, and I was selling a detox. And it was called, it's actually on the next one, it was called a detox and weight loss, because I was realizing in this sub-niche part that people love that word weight loss. So when I combine those two, it's like a win-win. I was feeding into the two different personalities of people and what they desired. Also, selling offline. Here are workshops, and yes, this is a workshop, and I was actually selling to them. It was a great old folks home. I loved it. I was selling to them a workshop, and I was talking about different foods, and I was, and you can do this in workshops. You can then be selling even a program. You can sell your weight loss, or you can even be selling cooking classes. You could be selling shopping tours. There are so many opportunities, guys, to be making money. So when I hear coaches say I'm not making money, I think, how's that possible? I know it's tough. I'm not saying it's easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But it is possible. Selling online is all about the message, as well as offline. You have to have that signature PowerPoint and workshop that you're comfortable doing, because that's a conversion. It's the same thing about a strategy session. You can't be like, ba, 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 and not have a clear work with me page, or not have a clear what is the system I'm taking them to. It all goes back to the clarity. So you selling online and offline, you know what you're selling them to and what is the pain point, the solution. So it isn't just about having the kick-ass webinar. Of course, that helps. And testing and polling. What do they desire? What is the webinar people want to hear? Make yourself, well-known in 2 different Facebook groups. Get to know people. Ask people, what do you want to hear? What do you desire? and then going and selling online. What is the message? So I realized when I was selling this, people wanted a weight loss program. Subject lines: no diet, slim down in 7 days, the non-diet secret to weight loss, say hello to a slimmer, sexier you. Crystal lost 5 pounds, you can too. Open for delicious recipe. It could even be like open for 5 recipes or free download, however you want to say it. The whole idea is they're opening. And then in there, you're infusing yourself in that email. Put a picture of you, put a picture of your family, put a picture of you shopping, put a video, put something in there that is you, because this is what people do these days. They look at the top and they go, oh. But if you have at the top something in that first 4 lines that makes somebody go, okay, this looks really great, or okay, this is something download, they will read on. Okay, so tonight, as I even was sharing in the forum earlier, you have the opportunity, and I'm selling this throughout the whole time, and I was going to be selling this about 6 months ago, but I couldn't get my act together to do this. This is an email marketing system. So we are selling this literally for $47. It's crazy. Because there is so much in this email marketing system, from webinar replay to webinar reminders, webinar reminders to coupons to an email marketing system. It's actually all here. I didn't even put on like this whole PowerPoint what it's included, because if you guys want to buy it, awesome. I'm in this new kind of marketing mode where it's like, if it's right for you, awesome. If it's not right for you, you'll figure that out. I have realized when I sold programs, the early bird special just thing was not working anymore. This email marketing system has last call coupons. There's 4 of them, because I realized that those last call coupons are really important. This is completely different than anything that you see in the Done For You programs. That's a 6 email marketing series that we do, but this is actually taken from one of the ones that I used in my own programs to sell my detoxes and weight loss programs and stuff like that. It's just taken, of course, out the personal stuff. But this is actually where you can see it. It also is on www.healthcoachbiz.rachelswellness.com. I just want to see if there's any questions. Let me just see if anyone has any questions. Does anyone have a question specifically about selling a weight loss program, or even implementing a weight loss program on there, or even selling a sugar program, or selling in general as a health coach, and what you need to be able to say online or offline? Anyone? Let me see, I think there's a question here. Erin's asking, what if I don't have a story? That is actually a phenomenal point. Phenomenal question. I'm so happy that you actually asked this. So we all have a story. For me, it was kind of, yes, went through having ulcerative colitis, and it was more of like this health journey. But, everyone has a story of why they became a coach. I talked to, I was doing a strategy session with a coach the other day, and she was like, I just really wanted to become a coach because I was really frustrated with the healthcare system. And, that drive, that moment that you said, I want to go and be a coach, there was a reason. So then you have to go to that moment and say, what was that reason? What exactly? Because you didn't just say like, oh, I think green juices just are really great, or I think acai bowls are really wonderful. There was something that happened. So whether it was like somebody in your family got sick, or maybe you said, you know what, I really want to, empower people. I want, people to be able to know how to take care of themselves, or I'm frustrated that, these commercials on TV feed us bullshit, whatever it is, there is that moment that we all have. And it's different for everyone, but there is a story. And then if you back up from that, like how to write your story, it's always like, what happened? What was life like now? What did you learn? And what do you teach others? So you always have to think about that and how it relates to people hiring you. And from that, we do always need to have like newsletters, and we do need to have an email marketing system that goes out to seller programs. Even if you created one on your own, you created a program on your own, or you want to even sell a workshop, you need to have something that you are putting into your system, because, I know even for myself, getting emails written most often, for a 6 email sequence is usually about $600. It's usually about 100 in email. So when I got this, when I actually wanted to put this together like 6 months ago, I was like, wow, wouldn't this be amazing to actually like, give this to coaches at such like an inexpensive rate. And this was when I realized how important coupons were. Other stuff came, and the done free programs, and then we had a little downtime now. And this webinar came up, and I thought, you know what, this would be a really great time to launch, Seal My Copywriter. So I really encourage you, Erin, to like look at that and really say, what was that moment? Because we all have that moment. And remember, like, we all have many moments. It's like the moment that you drop to your knees and say, this has got to change, or this has got to change. And you're going to have like those aha moments even more, I just think that sometimes we think that it's got to be this like either this Debbie Downer story or this like really crazy story, but it doesn't. It just has to be your story, and it has to come from soul. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want you to hear tonight, with what I talked about, is that when we come from soul, that's marketing. And, especially if you buy these email templates tonight and you infuse your story, and you really look at that, anything that you sell will sell, whether it's online or offline. Kamena is asking, what are some options for programs to propose to gyms, and how are they implemented? So options to propose to gyms is, I did a detox at gym, I did cleanse, I did a sugar program, I did revitalize. I did every program that you see. I've partnered with somebody. So, and we're going to talk about this in the next webinar. I think the JV one is next. So you actually write down what you have to offer. And when you go and pitch to somebody, you can say to them, look, I can come to your facility. I can do this. We can do a kickoff talk, a wrap up. And then you can do an online forum. So it can be set up in person or online, the same exact way. You're just going and you're having that collaboration talk with whoever you're collaborating with. But again, still setting your programs up in Dropbox, or setting them up through MailChimp or Aweber, or if you're using Entrepreneur or Infusionsoft, having that clear conversation between a 70-30 split, 60-40, and then, marketing, pre-marketing, marketing that program, or doing it at, your home, saying, I'm looking for 10 women, or 5 couples, or doing cooking classes. There's so many different ways to rock out programs, and to build up your practice. So, when you're proposing them to gyms or to any different avenue, it's really about your pitch and really about what, again, the benefits for them. Jamie is asking, if you're trying to sell your programs online, how do we sell it to those outside of your personal, out of our personal group if we don't have a lot of people within our pages and groups? Great question, Jamie. So what you're doing is, yes, I know your pages and groups, we can't just rely on that. Facebook has changed significantly. Your Facebook page algorithms, unless you are doing ads, unless you are doing Facebook ads, you know, the people coming to your Facebook page, it's not going to be as high. So I really encourage you to do the following. One is reach out to people locally that you already have a relationship with. Maybe it's your chiropractor, your acupuncturist, your massage therapist, the place that you go and you buy, you know, your health food, you know, from already, and go and ask them. Or maybe, you know, go and ask them, hey, you know, would you like to collaborate with me? The second part of that is, like I said in the beginning, take that leap of faith and go in with a business card. And I did this myself with a brochure, business card. And I went in because I moved from Philadelphia where I knew everyone. We moved to Florida. I knew nobody. And I walked in and introduced myself to people who I didn't know. And I was very clear on what I had to offer. I had a lot of programs because I was the one creating them. But if you've bought programs from me, you have them as well. And I would go in and say, you know, I can do these workshops. So they were the very PowerPoints. So whether, again, same thing, whether you're doing them online or you're doing them offline, it's the same workshop. And then you're leading them to a program. So if you don't have a lot of people, then Jamie, then you're in the building phase. You're in the list building. And then you also need to be also cultivating and building that up on either your personal page and not selling. Again, you know, Facebook doesn't like that, even though you might see people doing that. You're cultivating that relationship and saying, hey guys, you know, I'm sharing a really special offer on my business page, go check it out. Or you're reaching out and you're saying to people, hey, you know, this is what I'm doing. Can you give me a shout out? Or you're paying for a Facebook ad. But you're looking for building that authority. Maybe you're blogging, maybe you're pitching to podcasts, maybe, you know, you're really looking to build yourself as an authority. And again, a lot of this can be done offline. And the online part is that you're starting to, again, go back to that education. So you have an opt-in freebie, or you're educating even on your personal page. Hey, I was doing this today. This is what really worked for me. I experienced this. I used to have this. Or, you know, again, not making claims, but sharing your daily reprieve of what works. And that is what starts to build authority. And you'll see that maybe it doesn't happen overnight, but it starts to happen over time. And people start to personal message you and say, hey, I'm following you. And wow, that was really helpful. And do you take on clients? Susan's asking, I'm a healthy eating coach. When someone says they they want a free run fast recovery fast session with me and then don't sign up, when I email them, how many reminders? They want a free run fast recovery fast strategy session with me. I mean, so if somebody wants a strategy session, that's 20, 30 minutes. You know, 20, I would say, 30 if you're stretching it. An hour if they are, you know, signing up. If they don't show up, they're not serious. You know, I mean, that's just it. If you are moving them into a program and people are maybe doing a challenge and you're like, hey guys, last call for this bonus, last call for this early bird pricing, last call for saving X amount of money, then of course you're sending reminders. And there's, like, in this email, in Steal My Copywriter, we have 4 last call reminders. But if it's just a strategy session and they don't sign up, you know, I would send them one email and be like, hey, you know, you missed our session. I hope you reschedule. Here's my calendar. You know, I look forward to working with you. Keep it real simple. If they can't show up, they're not committing. And, you know, really manifest and put out that energy that you're worth those clients. You're worth the people that are dead on serious. Because that's how we get them. And again, that goes back to, like, our authority building and people looking at us as being serious, our time serious, and your time serious. Camille's asking, can I do a virtual cooking class? Yeah, definitely. I love virtual cooking classes. Again, same thing. I would do like a webinar, or I would even do a live stream. Then I would do kind of an email funnel leading them, or even have an opt-in freebie that leads them to, you know, your virtual cooking class. You could even make that evergreen, so then people could buy that after. Have an email system that's going to that. A lot of people charge 50, then 45, 35. It depends where you are as a coach and where you are in the building of your own authority. You know, I've seen coaches, and one of the coaches who I've coached and I've seen grow over the years, she just sent me a sales page today. I've seen her go from selling $97 detoxes to now they're $999. So, you know, I think coaches grow and evolve, but we have to start somewhere. So I would say, you know, I was just saying today, if you take out a calculator, a coach was asking me about a program that she had bought, and she said, you know, in her area, people don't spend a lot of money. And I said, you know, some money making is better than none. If you were to take a program, even if you bought one from me and said, okay, well, 35 a person, if you get 20 people to that, it's $700. If you do that twice a month, that's $1,400. And this is when I always talk about making money. If we do that 12 times a year, that workshop, that's $16,800. If you convert, let me just write this down. So we're at $16,800, and we'll end with this. If you say that you're going to convert out of those 20 people, let's just say 2 people, and let's just say we're charging $300 a month on the low end. Like we're not going to charge the $195 that everyone graduates, or even lower, which is what I did. Didn't charge my worth. Let's say we're converting 2 people a month. It's $7,200 plus our $16,800. That's $24,000. That's not doing anything else. That's 2 people converting. That's not leveraging. That's not running a program. That's 2 workshops, $700. That's not anything else. That could be 2 workshops on the weekend. Now imagine if you, and that's charging 35. Now imagine if you throw in 1 program for 99 that you converted, or even let's just say 127, and you got 10 people. And you did that 4 times a year. That's an extra 5,000 plus the 24,000. Now we're at 29. So this is how I look at it. Anyone can make money. You have to sit down with a calculator, and you have to sit down with your goals, and you have to look at your 90 and 120-day plan. To look at your year, you have to ask yourself where you really best shine, online or offline. It's applicable. The same work that you do online is offline, meaning the sales page, the programs, the PowerPoints, the gift that you give at the end of a workshop. You say, hey, sign up for here. That's an opt-in freebie. The very same thing, so that you make your work for you, online or offline. The programs that I had online were the same programs I rocked offline, and I did talks every other week, and I had people in an online forum. The same programs that I did offline, I did them online. I did a kickoff call and a wrap-up call. And the same programs that I have, I also infused into my work with May and my one-on-one. So my strategy calls turned into health histories. That is how you have a sustainable business. Passive and active income. Work with me page is complete and cohesive, and that your opt-in freebies you know, and that what you're marketing have good, complete email marketing systems with them, and that you've infused your story. And you know your niche and your pain points, and you're really clear on them and your story. So I just want to say thank you guys for being here. It's been an awesome, awesome one. I hope that you guys come back for the next one. And with that said, if you have any questions about Steal My Copywriter, you can go to www.healthcoachbiz.rachelswellness.com, or you can go right here to this one, which is just bit.ly Steal Copywriter. And it is $47. That is it. Plus, Michelle Wisdom, my copywriter, she did a whole extra bonus, really cool, and that is there as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to just email me and ask. It's been awesome to be with you guys. Ciao, Bellas. I'll see you soon, and have an epic night. Bye, guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Kisses to all of you.